this morning, feeling a little down and out. Thank the man upstairs to wash my face and brush my teeth and my hair. Turn on her back and radio, start moving around. Damn, this beat is feeling good, got me feeling good now. All you got to do is take one step to the floor. It's your life, it's your life. All you gotta do is take one step to the floor. It's your life, it's your life.
Alright, it's your boy DVO Double N, the musical teddy bear. Another episode for your earlobe. Let's jump right into the music on America's Urban Community Alternative Station. Here is my group out of Minneapolis called The Perfect Story, and their single is called Thirsty. Let's get 'em. Alright, once again, that was the group The Perfect Story out of Minneapolis, and their single is called Thirsty. Here is Bobby V with his brand new single called Love Me Slow. Coming up next is my man Phil Andrews from the African American Chamber of Commerce in Long Island. Keep it locked right here. Let's go.
Yeah. Just at this Fly's Hotel. Thinking about what we doing. You said you were on your way. Anticipation's killing me. Yeah, where your ass was at. You said you were around the corner. Wanna see some brake lights pulling up on me. How many times you gon' pass my crib? Did you forget where I live? Stop tripping, bring that Coke bottle, cause I need it. When you walk in, baby, I'ma beat it. Freak me, yeah, yeah, like we on TV, yeah, yeah. Let's make a movie, yeah, yeah. I wanna take you for a ride in my bedroom. You said you're gonna love me slow. When we're done, we're gonna do it some more. the bubbles for a tour. Yeah, I'ma have them rose petals thrown on the flizzo. Sexy ass body, I'ma throw you on a pillow. Calling sick tomorrow, cause these love games gon' keep going. Yeah, breakfast in bed, ooh, ooh, I'ma feed you. Ain't no telling what's next we be doing. Freak me, yeah, yeah, like we on TV, yeah, yeah. Let's make a movie, yeah, yeah, yeah. Wanna take you for a ride in my bedroom. You said you're gonna love me slow, when we're done, we're gonna do it some more. Oh yeah, I love it when you're dripping on me. Don't stop dripping on me. You said you're gonna love me slow. You give me a heart attack. Freak me, yeah, yeah, like we on TV, yeah, yeah. Let's make a movie, yeah, yeah, yeah. Wanna take you for a ride in my bedroom. You said you're gonna love me slow. When we're done, we're gonna do it some more. Oh yeah, I love it when you're dripping on me. Don't stop dripping on me. You said you're gonna love me slow. You give me a heart attack.
I'm Fletcher Word, publisher of the Sojourner's Truth, Toledo's African-American weekly newspaper. The Truth covers issues important to all Toledoans, education, business, and politics. Special sections cover important health and education stories, and you can also read the outstanding commentary of D.L. Perryman and the musings of Michael Hayes, the Truth Minister of Culture. For fair and objective reporting, pick up the Sojourner's Truth. It's available at over 400 locations in the metro area.
The station that's playing the hottest new music, jam-packed radio, your urban community alternative station.
All right, it's your boy DVO Double N, the musical teddy bear. We have a special guest on our show, and I'm so glad to have this gentleman here. And why don't you state your name and who you are, sir?
My name is Phil Andrews, and I'm the president of the Long Island African American Chamber of Commerce.
All right. Well, you know, the first time I met you, even had the first conversation, you know, through Elcia up here in the Long Island area, and they really have introduced me to the community, and I'm so proud to be part of coming into a whole community like this. I mean, why don't you kind of explain what it is that you do for the community with the Chamber?
Well, one of the things that we're doing is we're rebuilding the social fabric of the community by bringing small business owners and professionals under one umbrella to become the largest African American Chamber of Commerce in New York State. And it also is going to create a greater success trade zone, and also more businesses and professionals going to be able to prosper in their services. I mean, there's so much businesses that we're not in, and we hope to also stimulate new up-and-coming entrepreneurs. So sometimes people don't know they have business in them, but
yeah, that's true.
Getting around business people will begin to change the narrative.
You know what? It's funny, because the other day, yesterday, I mentioned about, you know, young people, because, you know, you and I had that conversation, how they just automatically gravitate towards the technology anyway, because they're born in it, and they kind of like just hit the ground running when it comes to business. And we were talking about how we can teach them at an early age about entrepreneurship. How do you feel about that?
Well, I think the earlier you learn anything, the longer you have to work in something, and also your learning curve can increase because you have a longer period of time. And it's like anything, like most athletes, most tennis players, most basketball players, most of them started very young.
Yeah, that's true.
And mastery in anything sometimes take time. Even looking at me at the work we do at the Chamber of Commerce, somebody posted up, Phil, I remember when you was talking about this 25 years ago, and you stayed the course.
Right.
Success is the progressive realization of a worthy idea, and we have to stick at it. And it's not just what we get here, it's also what we become. And it takes us time to become that great thing, but sometimes a business could be hit it right off the top, but they also need some valuable resources. They need connections. They need know-how. No man or woman is an island, and people help us. So that's why you got to get in a network like the Chamber of Commerce, because the Chamber of Commerce can help you see some of your blind spots, bring some resources, and sometimes you just need good old-fashioned human encouragement when you think you can't.
Yeah, and guidance, like we think because we get older that we don't need guidance anymore or something, you know what I'm saying? And it's like...
That's true, that's very true.
And you need the right encouragement. It's not so much that you want people to stroke your ego, you know what I'm saying, but you want people to really tell you the truth. That's, when you get older, you can accept the truth by now. You can say, well, I'm not great at this, I'm good at that, but I can improve in this area, that area, whatever the case may be. By the time you get in your 30s, you should be acknowledging your faults and, your weaknesses and your strengths, And, I just feel like when I walked into that room at the Swirl Bliss, I felt real comfortable, And they have a very successful business. Why don't you give the audience a little bit of insight on how that got started? I know that we'll probably get a chance to interview them, the owners, but you pretty much know how they launched that. Why don't you give the audience a
Well, what I did is I did have a brief conversation with the owner, and they thought the neighborhood was lacking certain things, and they came up with an idea of having something different. And that's what in the bottom core of any business, you have to find a need and fill it. And even in every business, you got to really ask yourself, what business am I in? Even though we was eating yogurt and other things at the establishment, but it's also maybe some emotional attachment, enjoyment to people, So right. I think every business got to know what it is, what's your proposition.
Correct.
Correct. They the place, the location is fabulous. You look around the walls. I told them, I was like, well, whoever designed this place should be an Architect Award. And then you have you taste. You was able to taste all of the flavors before you buy. I mean, and it was it's a phenomenal business established by African American, only the one in the country, but that could be hundreds of those Swirl Bliss around the nation if we support them as a community.
We're going to take a quick station break real quick, and then we'll be right back with more Phil Andrews of the Long Island African American Chamber of Commerce. We'll be right back.
The station that's playing the hottest new music.
I'm John D.
Hi, my name is Jonas Sebastian.
Jam Pack Radio, your urban community alternative station.
www.blackbeatmusicgroup.com.
You can keep your feelings to yourself. I hope that you can tell that I'm on one. It's on the floor, I'm about to act a fool. Just wanna let you know I'm working with some I'm a cashier. I've been busting up a few years, ain't nothing new here. I gotta wake up, go get, can't depend on me, cause I'm too independent. Gotta stay on a mission to try to be rich. So you can miss me with that weakness. Being broke is my weakness. And getting money, my addiction. You gotta lie. breaking all the rules. And I'm the flyest, that's why your nigga be trying to choose. Like what it do, knowing that he got too much to lose. Nobody move, nobody get hurt. You can pray on my downfall, I bet it don't work. And if you love me, I love you. First things first, and I go get that money to fill up my purse. I gotta wake up, go get. Can't depend on no nigga, cause I'm too independent. Gotta stay on a mission to try to be rich, to try to be rich. So you can miss me with that weak bitch, the weak bitch. Being broke is my weakness, my weakness. And getting money, my addiction, addiction. You got a lot of hate in your blood, but I don't give two fucks. Let me be great. I know you're praying on my downfall. Why the fuck you wanna hate? No, you ain't running with the big dogs. Just let me be great. I pray that I don't ever fall down. What the fuck you gotta say? Ain't about money, then it's y'all. I'm working with some yeah. I'm a cashier. I've been busting up a few years. Ain't nothing new here. And if you love me, I love you. First things first, and I go get that money to fill up my purse. Let me be great. I know you're praying on my downfall. Why the fuck you wanna hate? You ain't running with the big dogs. Just let me be great. I pray that I don't ever fall down. What the fuck you gotta say?
All right, we're back with my man Phil Andrews from the African American Chamber of Commerce. And one of the questions I wanted to ask, you know, when you come from, because a lot of people feel like when they come from public housing and projects and things like that, that they can't achieve having their own business or starting their own business. I mean, I'm sure you know greater things can happen. Why don't you explain that? Because you were talking about that.
Yes, that's correct. I happen to grow up in the same housing project as Jay-Z from Marcy houses in Bedford-Stuyvesant. And one of the things that I did is that I knew that the walls could not confine my mind, and I read things that took me all around the world. What I would say is that you can find a mentor. There's resources out there like the Small Business Administration. If you got an idea for a business, you can go to an agency like that. The Small Business Development Centers, and you have the SBDC. Colleges have an organization called Small Business Development Centers to help you start your idea, and also not just to start your idea. So sometimes you also want to know if your idea is going to lose you the $20,000 you have. So it's good to get good business sound advice before you go into a business. But there's tons of books. I grew up reading Black Enterprise, and I talk to many kids in their 30s, and I'm very surprised they don't even know what Black Enterprise magazine is. Right. So I think reading is very important. Get the basics. You know, there's tons of books on the ABCs of business, what you need, how to get the DBA, how to get a tax ID. So you're not alone. And then also you could join your local chamber. One of the things that we would love to do, there's an NAACP chapter in all of New York City housing. Partner with an organization, the housing can partner with an organization and bring a chamber in like that. So I think the chamber in our particular instance, we want to reach those communities. Because you know why? We believe there's some entrepreneurs in those communities. They may not even know it yet, but being exposed to us and the idea of business could change people's lives. And at the very basic, what motivated me in business is that when you succeed, you help people put food on their table, and that's real love. That's some real love to me, and that was one of my motivating factors. I am a former franchise owner of 10 stores. I built a barbershop from 1 to 10, and we could do it. We could do it, and this was my theory. You know, people come all over the world, and they open up businesses, and they have less education, and they open them up in our community. So we have enough education. Right. Just do we have the will to want to do something for ourselves? And, you know, of course, any business, you got to manage risk. And one of the things I learned is that nobody should know your community better than you. Right. You know, so think about that from a marketing standpoint. You know, I've been a household name for over 25 years. I used to go to the schools and speak, And they asked the kids, how many of you heard of the Haircut Hut Barbershop? 100% of the kids would raise their hands. So I think we have an advantage.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? There's an old saying in Think and Grow Rich, you know, in every disadvantage, there's a seed of equivalent advantage, a greater benefit. And we have to find our advantage, find our neighborhood where we live. I mean, we could be great. I'm going to give you an example of an old story with James Brown. They said he was playing music on the corner. 5 people was on the corner. He said, "Hey, I'm James Brown. I'll be playing music on the corner for a few more minutes." He said that. Some more people came. And then he said, "Hey, I'm James Brown." Some people be playing music on the corner. The moral of the story, if we don't promote what we're doing and develop our businesses, no one else will.
Exactly. And why don't you give them the information where they can contact you, because, you know, not only is New York listening to this, we got all over the world, actually, and all over the United States. And, you know, you don't have to be locked down at just one chamber. You could reach out to any of them, and that's something that Phil kind of really...
That's correct.
Put it in my
we
mind.
can reach us is at the Long Island African American Chamber of Commerce at www.liaacc.com, and you just put in Long Island African American Chamber. And not only do we have the chamber here locally in Long Island, we are part of the largest black chamber of commerce in the country, the U.S. Black Chambers out of Washington. So we work with 53 chambers, because some businesses, you may want to do business with a business in Jersey. You know, some you may want to do business with a business in California. So we got a national network, and we also got something going on local. Because sometimes your business may span to another territory, or you may find a service that's down in Atlanta that can serve you in technology in New York. So we're in a global world today, so there's really no barriers so far as location. We talk to people all over the world every minute.
But we appreciate you coming on and your time, my brother. And you know we got work to do, and we got to get out there, and we're gonna be doing some things. So you guys want to keep it locked right here. Any last words, Mr. Andrews?
Well, I'd like to say just contact your local chamber. The Chamber of Commerce is one of the most well-known and recognizable organizations in the country, and it could serve as a marketing function and also has technical assistance to get you where you need to go in business.
All righty. That's my man Phil Andrews with the Long Island African American Chamber of Commerce. And we'll be right back after this. Keep it locked. It's your boy.
Hi, it's Rhonda. Listen to me, Rhonda Cobb, the Money Coach, every Thursday here on 91.3 and every day on www.rcmoneycoach.com. I'm Rhonda Cobb, the Money Coach, taking you from broke to set.
The station that's playing the hottest new music, Jam Pack Radio, your urban community alternative station.
All right, that's going to conclude our show for today. It's your boy DV Double N, the musical teddy bear, thanking Mr. Phil Andrews for coming on the show from the Long Island African American Chamber of Commerce, and thanking you for tuning in for LP Live, Love, Laugh, Learn, and Pray, the throwback song of the day. It's my man Luther Vandross. Can I take you out tonight? Peace out.
By surprise, I must say, 'cause I never had seen such a pretty face with such a warm and beautiful smile. It wasn't hard for me to notice her style. I was fascinated, surely. She took my heart and held it for me. I wouldn't let her get away, not until she heard me say, "Excuse me, miss, what's your name? Where are you from? Can I come and possibly take you out tonight to a movie, to a party? I'll have you home before it's dark, so let me know. Can I take you out tonight? Don't care if I get rejected, at least then I won't regret it. Regret the fact I missed the chance for romance. At least I'll walk away knowing I tried my best and I'm going on with my day, 'cause at least she heard me say, "Excuse me, miss, come on, what's your name? Where are you from? Hey, That's why I had to come home and introduce myself to you. 'Cause you're never gonna know where you find love. And hopefully I found it in you. Can I take you out tonight? Got love for you, baby. I'll come get you, baby. Can I take you out tonight? Come tonight. Can I take you out tonight? Let me make your house a home, baby. Can I take you out tonight? To the movie, to the park. I'll have you home before it's dark. So let me know. Can I take you out tonight? Excuse me, miss. What's your name? Where are you from? And can I come? And possibly, can I take you out tonight? To a movie, to the park. I'll have you home before it's dark. So let me know. Can I take you? Nobody does it better.
The station that's playing the hottest new music. Jam Pack Radio. Your urban community alternative station.